Started.
Lord, we thank you for the gift of this day. We thank you, Lord, that all who have come before the committee today. We pray that you give us wisdom to make sound decisions that would be pleasing in your sight. Forgive us if we've sinned against you, Father. In Christ's name we ask it. Amen.
Amen.
Mr. Treadaway?
Here.
Mr. Stringer?
Here.
Mr. Jackson? Mr. Barnes? Mr. Betzel?
Here.
Mr. Bolton?
Here.
Mr. Ingham? Mr. Estes?
Here.
Ms. Fittler? Mr. Gray?
Here.
Ms. Mars? Mr. Pettus? Mr. Shaver? Here. Mr. Starnes?
Here.
Mr. Wadsworth?
Here.
A quorum is present.
Thank you, Teresa. Listen, we're going to get started. We've got a pretty ambitious schedule here today. But we have a few bills. Two bills I'm going to pull up out of order because I got to start committee meetings here in a minute. So if Representative Holsley and House Bill 101, you'll get us started. Are you here? Okay. And the next one will be House Bill 154, Representative Lee.
Good morning, Chairman Treadaway and committee members. Thank you so much for allowing me to come before you guys today. So HB 101, this bill essentially aims to create a special motor vehicle license plate for individuals with invisible disabilities and or their primary caregivers. As defined in this bill, an invisible disability has a range of things, but very specific list, from communication impediments to hearing loss, blindness, autism spectrum, PTSD, developmental disabilities, Down syndrome, epilepsy. And essentially all we're trying to do is utilize this tag and use the funds received from that to promote sensory training and our sensory bags that align with the two bills that we have passed in 2023 and 2024, the Cade Noah Act and the Abram Collin Act. I am going to also have, I think,
Before we get started, yeah, we have an amendment. Representative Betzel, let's get the amendment before us, and then I'll ask if there's any questions.
Yes, sir. Very simple. We'll replace lines 82 and through 83 on page 3 with the following. This act shall become effective on January 1, 2027. So this is just about the effective date.
You heard the amendment. Is there any questions on the amendment? Not seeing none, I entertain a motion to adopt the amendment. Representative England and second by Representative Stringer. All in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, the ayes have it. The bill is now before us as amended. Any questions on the bill as amended? Not seeing none.
Motion for favorable.
We got a motion for favorable report by Representative Betzel, second by Representative Stringer. All in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, the ayes have it. Your bill has a favorable report.
thank you so much, Chairman. Thank you, committee members.
House Bill 154, Representative Lee.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Also, I just noticed that the same bill is on here by Senate, by Senator Bell, if I may carry it. I don't think I've seen him in here.
All right, so
it's
we're
the
going to
very
do
same bill.
Senate Bill 114, and you'll be carrying it for Senator Bell, and it's the same bill as House Bill 154, correct?
Correct,
Okay.
correct. All right, thank you, Mr. Chairman. Under is short and directly to the point. Under the existing law, an individual can only be arrested that has a warrant in the state of Alabama if it is punishable by death or life imprisonment. What this does is changes that to any felon that comes in and they're stopped. They have the opportunity to arrest them and check with the other states, see what's going on, and be able to hold them until that's taken care of.
Okay, you've heard the bill. Any question by any members of the committee? Not seeing none, entertain a motion. Got a Representative Jackson.
Thank you. Did you say felon?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Yes.
All right, sorry.
Not felon.
All right, got a motion favorable report by Representative Stringer, second by Representative Fiddler. All in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, the ayes have it. Bill has a favorable report.
Thank you. On the Senate bill, it's the very same bill.
Okay. That's the bill we passed.
Oh.
We went to Senate Bill 114.
Oh, you went straight there?
I did, straight to that.
Okay.
You want both passed?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so you heard, that was Senate Bill 114. So now we're on House Bill 154. It's the exact same bill. You've heard the bill. We got a motion for favor report by Representative Jackson, second by Representative Pettus. All in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, the ayes have it. Your bill has a favor report.
Thank you, and thank you for bumping me up for my meeting. Thanks.
Okay. And thank you, Representative Boyd, for allowing that. Representative Boyd, you have the first bill of the session, and you are up. House Bill 1's before us.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and members of the committee. House Bill 1 requires the first-time offenders for DUI to install an ignition interlock drive, which is a device which will be in their vehicle for 6 months, in addition to suspending their license until they comply with this installation. Mr. Chairman, there was an original bill and there's a substitute. What I would like to do, working with Aaliyah, is to adopt the substitute today. On the floor, but I see your face. This is all just happening.
Do we have a substitute before us? Yes. Okay. All right.
Matt, I'm sorry, Mr. Chairman, we didn't get to you. This was just this morning when we worked it out. So when we get to the floor, the only amendment I would accept with the body working with me is the one that will come from Aaliyah. Simply because, in my opinion, we deal with one who know, being an educator by trade, I'm willing to listen to people who know what they're supposed to be doing. I don't want to get this wrong on anybody, but I did see justice, and by the way, I just saw these changes myself, and this bill was turned in at the end of last session. Now, you may say, why does she want to put so much emphasis on it? I guess I'm going to be real with you. It's personal. Yeah. I'm able to stand here today because of a drunk driver driving on the wrong side of the road. Children were involved. Terrible. I'm a living miracle. I don't want to take a lot of times. I may not even wake up more, but God has been more graciously, and I want this done so it will serve future generations in the right way. So the sub is before you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Mrs. Boyd. I've been informed that we can adopt this, but this is a draft. But my understanding.
No, you should have. You don't have.
No. All right, so we can adopt this. If there's any questions by any committee members dealing with the substitute that the sponsor wants brought up? Representative Jackson.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I want to commend the lady, and this is not retribution. This is out of love. Dr. Boyd, I applaud your tenacity and your compassion to work with Aaliyah. Could you tell us the difference between what Aaliyah, you're accepting from Aaliyah, and what your original bill was all about? How the changes are made here?
May I allow a representative from Aaliyah? I said I believe in people who know what they're talking about, and you're going to get it correct.
All right, do we have a representative from Aaliyah?
That's the.
Yes. That's we want to hear.
I want him to be absent. In,
so we just got this up. So
Can you give your name and your position?
Sure. I'm Sam Adams. I'm the Director of Governmental Affairs at Aaliyah. This is not our substitute, but we've been working with some other parties on the substitute. But we'd be more comfortable. We are comfortable with HB1 as it's written, and we're glad to work in good faith going forward on any other language. But we're good with HB1 as it's written, Dr. Boyd.
Well,
Hold on.
As it is.
Yes, ma'am.
With the sub.
Just as it's written. Yes, ma'am. As it's written.
As it's written. Okay.
And if we want to work together on the sub language going before it goes to the floor, we're glad to do that. But I think, if we talked this morning, passing HB1 through the committees.
Ms. Boyd, there seems to be a lot of confusion. Would you mind if we carry this over? I put you first next week, and y'all gonna work this out, because it appears to me that Aaliyah is not for the sub, but they're for the original bill as written. Now, if you want to bring the original bill up, and we can discuss that.
Bring the original.
You want to bring the? Are you sure?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so what we got, we don't have the sub before us, folks. And Aaliyah seems to be okay with House Bill 1. The sponsor seems to be okay with it. So we've got House Bill 1 before us, not the sub.
Okay, I hear you. And also, there's another concern that we're gonna work out too.
Who's going to work out?
Mr. Chair, I think she's referring to me.
You have
I've been-
an amendment that's agreed
No, I
upon?
don't. I think I've had my questions answered at this point, but I have not seen the sub. If we end up there, I need to look at that, but
We're not on the sub. We're
I
on the
know,
original
so,
bill, and that's the
yeah.
bill that you're okay with too.
I'm okay.
Okay, so we have the original bill, House Bill 1 before us, not the sub, as written, House Bill 1. Everybody's got a copy of it. Representative Jackson.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mrs. Boyd has worked so diligently with Aaliyah. Now, who sub is this?
I have no idea.
I mean, somebody's gonna bring a sub and gonna take her bill out and just throw a sub. I mean, that's.
Where's my gentleman?
I move we adopt the original bill.
All right, let's see if we got any questions. We got a motion for a favorable report by Representative Jackson, a second. All right, is there any questions? Not seeing none. All in favor? You have a question. Representative Wadsworth.
The gentleman said that they're working with third parties. Who are the third parties that they're working with? And if he could identify that.
Oh,
You want him to come up?
yeah, let
Okay.
him.
Representative Boyd, you want to come up? Give us
Yeah,
your
that's the
name and
gentleman that I'm
see if you can
looking for.
go ahead and answer the question for Representative Wadsworth. Name and position, please.
Yes, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Wadsworth, Ross Gunnels. I represent Safe Coalitions, a group of interlock device companies. When we saw HB1 and making changes to the DUI law, there were some changes that we also would like to be considered. We've worked with Representative Boyd, worked with some other stakeholders. I've worked with, or other stakeholders have seen our language. There were some concerns with that language. We met with Representative Boyd, said, look, we would like to try to have some time to work out some of those concerns with other stakeholders before and didn't want to slow HB1 down. So we also agree we are not trying to advance our sub on this. So we agree with HB1 moving as it is.
Yeah, but are y'all wanting to adopt some language when we go to the floor that has been given by some third party? And other stakeholders?
If we can agree on that, yes, sir. Whether it's HB1 or another bill, but, because HB1 is making changes to the statute, we thought we'd try to work with Representative Boyd. But obviously, it's not ready at this point to move forward, at least the sub.
And you said one of them was Safeco?
That's correct.
Okay, who are the other stakeholders?
Well, I've had conversations with Aaliyah. I've had conversations with the TSRPs and the DAs, to name a few. So.
Does this bill include the exceptions for people that are in other areas that don't have access to this that type of device?
You talking about the rural exception?
Yes.
We don't propose making any changes to that. No, sir.
Okay, but in this one, does it have the rural exceptions that we did a couple of years ago that was put in?
There were no changes to that.
Okay,
So-
does it include those rural exceptions in this bill that's before us right now?
HB1, I can't speak to HB1, sir. I can only speak to the substitute.
Okay,
That is not for it.
does the substitute include the exceptions, or it does not?
It does, to my best of my knowledge, it does. Yes, sir.
But we haven't got a copy of that. Can you provide a copy of that to all the members too?
I will be happy to get you that.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Representative England.
Just want to point out, this is not your substitute that was submitted this morning, correct?
There was a substitute that was given to the committee clerk that was yesterday. Since then, we learned of some concerns from those stakeholders. Therefore, we've talked to Representative Boyd, talked to the chairman about not.
So
moving
this
the
is, but
substitute.
this is, so what we have here is a substitute that you gave yesterday.
That is correct. Yes, sir.
Okay.
That's not the bill before us, okay? So everybody knows, we're on House Bill 1. We have a motion for favorable report, second by Representative Jackson, second by Representative Bolton. Seeing no other questions, all in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. All opposed?
No.
Bill has a favorable report.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ms. Boyd. Before us now is House Bill 11, Representative Pettus. We're good here. Okay. We're on the time. It'll take you 10 minutes to get down there.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This is the identical bill that passed out of the House last year, passed out of Senate committee, got on the last day of the Senate, didn't pass. This is the youthful offender. If you intentional murder or capital murder, you cannot get youthful offender.
All right, you've heard the explanation. Any questions?
Motion for favorable report.
All right, we got a motion by favorable report, Representative Wadsworth, second by Representative Stringer, but we got a question by Representative Jackson.
No, second.
Second, okay. All in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. All opposed? The ayes have it. Bill has a favorable report. Now, House Bill 32, Representative Bolton is before us.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This is the child restraint bill that we passed through committee last year, and we subbed it here in committee and made some amendments to it. It just did not make it to the floor, and nothing has changed from what the committee passed last session.
All right, y'all heard the explanation. We got a motion for a favorable report, Representative Pettus, second by Representative Stringer. Any questions? Not seeing none. All in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? The bill has a favorable report. And I skipped over House Bill 198. That's going to be carried over. That's my bill, and it needs a little more work. So we're down to House Bill 33, Representative Bolton.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. House Bill 33, what it does is it amends the code that's currently in force that requires students to have their driver's license suspended if they quit school. That's an impediment to my workforce development to many of my kids that want to go to do other things, and there's an awful lot of hoops they have to jump through to keep their license current. So what we did, we agreed with the superintendent's the superintendent's association that we would just roll this age back from the current 19 years, below 19, to below 17 years.
Okay, you've heard the explanation. Any question by any
Yeah, I
members
have a
of
question.
committees?
Yes, sir.
Representative Jackson.
Thank you. If a teenager quits school, you want to suspend their license?
They've been doing it if they were under 19, which was a little bit out of order, but it's been that way since back in '93. What I'm doing is fixing it, moving the age back to where they only have to attend school till they're 17, which is where it's written in the state code under other sections.
Yes.
And I just want to make sure that when they reach that age of 17, if they want to quit school and go to work, they don't have to worry about their driver's license being suspended.
Well, thank you. Because I was saying a lot of kids go to school and can't work, but then they need to work.
That's right.
And then you're going to take the license, they can't drive.
That's right, and it could lead to a lot of fines. It takes them years to get out of, so that's what we're trying to fix.
Okay, well, you're trying to fix the problem.
Yes, sir.
Thank
That's
you much.
correct.
Thank you.
All right, Representative Fiddler. Okay, got a motion for a favorable report, Representative Fiddler, second by Representative Jackson. Seeing no other questions, all in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, the bill has a favorable report. That brings us to House Bill 34.
And, yes, sir, thank you, Mr. Chairman. House Bill 34 was the amendment we did to the false name statute last year where a person would be obligated to provide their correct date of birth also. And also under this law, if reasonable suspicion exists on behalf of the officer's belief, then they were required to identify themselves. And that's all it does. Now, I do have an amendment to this one. The original bill, as it came out, it also had in here that a person had to explain their purpose of what they were doing there. I don't really feel comfortable with that. So I've asked that they amend that out, and I do have an amendment here to...
Go ahead and explain the amendment again.
Yes, the amendment replaces lines 59 through 62 on page 3 with the following: the person's name, address, and date of birth.
Okay, you heard the amendment. Anybody any questions on the amendment?
Yeah, let me.
Representative Jackson.
Yes.
On page 3, line 74. Law enforcement officer acting in the course of his or her official duties may stop any person abroad in a public place whom the officer reasonably suspect is committing or has committed. What are we seeing? What's suspect? What's reasonable, and what are they suspected of doing?
Yes, sir. Well, in the Supreme Court rules dating back many decades, we have the standard of reasonable suspicion, and that is when an officer sees something that he, in his experience and training, suspects that someone is committing a criminal offense.
Hold on.
Man, that's what.
We're gonna pause this because nobody has a copy of the amendment. She's gonna get, and I'll come right back to the bill. Okay. All right. So that brings us to House Bill 56, Representative Hollis.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. House Bill 56 would require operators of autocycles to wear protective headgear and shoes in compliance with motorcycle protective gear requirements when operating or riding in the autocycle. The bill specifies that autocycles must meet certain criteria, such as having 3 wheels on the ground, a steering wheel, and a steer mechanism, and brakes that meet specific safety standards. Autocycle operators would also need to have a regular driver's license, be subject to seatbelt requirements, and be registered, taxed, and titled in the same manner as motorcycles. This bill aims to enhance safety measures for autocycle operators and align regulations with existing motorcycle standards. And with this bill, HB 56, Alabama constituents would provide safety. And what motivated this bill is I have a close friend of mine who slid into a tree, was ejected, and stayed in a coma for almost a year. He's awake, but he cannot talk, and he finally is making some motion. So that's the motivation behind this bill. And I see him all the time riding with no helmet and nothing to protect him.
Representative Jackson.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I commend this. You have to have a helmet on to ride a bicycle.
Right.
And so I really applaud your tenacity as it relates to safety of our young people. And at the right time, I move for a fair report. It was public hearing. I'm sorry.
We have a public hearing on this, but let me go ahead and see. Representative Estes?
I didn't know we had a public hearing on this.
Yeah, it was called in the appropriate time. Do we have a sign-up list? Yes. All right, so we'll get to that in just a second. Let's go ahead and see, let the members of the committee speak first. Go ahead, Representative Estes.
Yes, Representative Hollis. Just had one quick question. Make sure I understand. I think you've referenced it twice. Do I understand this would simply bring the autocycle state laws in to match existing motorcycle laws?
Correct.
Okay, thank you.
There's no other questions right now. We'll start the public hearing. Representative Starnes.
Yes, what is an autocycle? Is that the sling?
That's the autocycle is the one with the 3 wheels, the one in the front and 2 in the back. Okay. I think they do call them slings.
All right, we only have one speaker on the opponent side. If you let Fred come to the podium, we'll listen to him. Just one speaker. Is there a Fred Wheeler here? Okay.
So Fred Wheeler, 8405 Sterling Drive, Mobile, Alabama. I represent Dixie Abate of Alabama. Chairman Treadaway, committee members, Dixie Abate of Alabama rises in opposition to Representative Hollis' bill requiring helmets yet again for motorcycles. We are opposed to any legislative changes regarding any type of cycle that legislator believes needs a helmet. Until Alabama begins to address the current failure of motorcycle licensing. Last December, 2 years ago, after being tasked with a strategy, we sat with state officials from ALDOT, ALEA, and a state representative. We put forth in a good faith list of proposals to make riders safer in Alabama and did so in less than a 30-day time frame, delivering prior to the start of last year's session. Last year, a young woman from Birmingham was able to convince this legislator in Alabama that it needed a shark alert system. In the previous 2 years, not one fatality has been recorded. Last year in Alabama, over 80 rider fatalities were reported, and yet a DECA Highway Safety Plan X, a number of fatalities are considered acceptable. We believe that the Alabama Office of Highway Safety is unduly focused on unhelmeted riders. Instead of trying to mitigate rider injuries, we think a plan to prevent crashing at all will lead to a lower fatality rate. We also believe that distracted driving continues to be a major cause of rider deaths. But instead of making hands-free a primary violation by Mr. Representative Kenny Brown, it was poorly enforced secondary violation. We realize that the state has limited funding, and we include a proposal to help pay for items mentioned. None of this work will be without starting at the beginning of licensure of new riders. Alabama continues to be the only state without an on-cycle skills test. We give them a written test as young as 14 and send them merrily out into traffic patterns. Dixie Abate has always been about sensible legislation for riders. We are ready to work with you to make riding in Alabama fun for everyone. The answer to motorcycle fatalities is not a helmet. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments. Any questions by any members of the committee for our speaker? All right, so if you would, Representative, you're back before us. House Bill 56. Is there any additional questions for House Bill 56? Not seeing none, entertain a motion for favorable report. All right, Representative Jackson, second by Representative Bolton. All in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Your bill has a favorable report.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Now, we got to go back to House Bill 34. You should have the amendment before you. So the amendment now is before us. It's been explained. Is there any questions for the sponsor on the amendment? Not seeing none, I entertain a motion for favorable report. Representative Stringer, second by Representative Cestus. All in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. All right. Now the bill's before us as amended. Any questions about the bill as amended? Representative Fiddler.
Is that what we're going?
Okay, Representative Bolton, on line 61, where it says the person willfully refuses to answer the law enforcement officer. And that's part of a person commits a crime of refusing to give law enforcement officer information if all the following occur. So that's one of the 4 things, I guess.
Actually, the 4th one has been removed. The amendment takes it off.
Okay, no, so 61 and line 61 and 62
Yes, ma'am.
are
59 through 62 we deleted.
Okay. That answers my question.
Thank you.
Not seeing any more questions. Entertain a motion for favorable report. Representative Wadsworth.
That's the question. Does the bill also add a misdemeanor
Yes, sir.
that the officer, in the past, it's been the officer suspects that they've committed a felony, but in this particular bill, you actually added that
Yes, sir.
they commit a felony or a misdemeanor or to that category?
Yes, sir. What we did, this is just strictly to identify themselves. It's the only thing that we're working here now. In the other portion of the bill, we changed, we added that they had to give a correct date of birth because we only had the person's name and address under the prior law. So we've added the date of birth, and we've also added the Class C misdemeanor custodial in the event that a person simply refuses to identify themselves when the officer has reasonable suspicion.
Well, I will mention this.
Yes, sir.
2 days ago, I had a client come into my office, and they were charged with interference with governmental operations, illegal possession of a prescription, and criminal trespassing. It was a 72-year-old gentleman that pulled off to go to the bathroom, and an officer pulled up. He had Viagra in his pocket, not in a bottle, and he got charged with that. He got charged with, he did not give the name, and therefore he got charged with interference with governmental operations. He got charged with criminal trespass because he stepped out, and he takes Flomax, which he had a problem going to the bathroom. And so he stopped just for the purpose of going to the bathroom, and he got charged. So right now is the law, if you have criminal misdemeanor, which is a misdemeanor, or criminal trespass, is that would the law cover it now?
Criminal trespass, the law would cover for it for a misdemeanor now for custodial arrest. Now, what we did, the obstructing governmental operations law that you mentioned that he was charged under, that has been a point of conflict in our state courts over the municipal courts primarily, and this is what we're trying to do. We're trying to resolve that. If somebody does not provide identification, they don't get charged with obstructing governmental operations. They get charged with this new section.
And this is where the officer would reasonably expect.
Correct, yes, sir.
And it's what he believes.
Yes, sir, that's correct.
So in this particular case, this guy got charged with interference with governmental operation. He got charged with having a illegal prescription because he didn't have the bottle that had the identified Viagra, and he got charged with that other charge. Now, they impounded his car, they put him in jail, and he had to hire a lawyer now to do this, and it's probably going to end up costing him probably $5,000 to go through this whole process, because he did not give his name. He may have made a mistake by saying he might have should have just cooperated and said, I can give him a name. But adding a misdemeanor to it gives complete discretion to make a charge on anything.
Well, no, he could have been charged with obstructing governmental operations for any type of crime, but this.
But all he did was just not give his name.
Yeah, well, we didn't change anything dealing with the misdemeanor application here. The only thing we did was put in a new Class C misdemeanor for failing to provide the name.
I'm opposed to the bill because of these added changes, to that. So I just
sure. Thank you.
I just want to explain.
I'm not sure Viagra is a controlled substance. Sure. It might be a potent substance, but it's not Viagra.
I really
any
don't
other
know.
Questions on the?
Yep.
I got a motion for favor report, Representative Bedsole, second by Representative Stringer. All in favor indicate by saying aye. All opposed, ayes have it. Bill has a favor report.
Is that the only amendment, or is that on the original?
As the bill amended. So let's back up real quick. Now, as the bill amended, I have a motion to adopt by Bedsole and a represented by. As the bill is amended, all in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, okay. The bill's passed as amended.
Opposed.
Now, we're going to go back real quick. I know we're trying to move quick here, but just have been informed by the clerk on House Bill 32. The sponsor actually had a sub and did not bring up the sub.
33.
I'm sorry, 33.
Yes.
So we're on House Bill 33. Explain what the difference is on House Bill 33 and the sub you brought.
Yes, the sub that we brought originally with House Bill 33 that I had filed to repeal that entire code. And after speaking with the superintendents, we elected to only change the age. The sub simply changes the mandatory age from 19 years to 17.
Hold on, Representative. I think we've got to bring up House Bill 33 because we've adopted it, so I need a motion to bring it back up. A motion by Representative Stringer, second by Representative Estes. Now, that bill's back before us. Okay, so now the substitute's before us, and he's explaining the substitute.
Yes, sir. That's with the substitute. What we did originally with HB 33, we were just going to repeal that entire portion of the law, which was actually pretty complex. And after meeting with the superintendents, there's a couple of reasons. They asked me if I would just work with them on rolling the age back, which would accomplish what we were trying to do. So it was a very simple change when we get to the sub. It's a change from lines 41 to 45 on the original. And it just changes it from any individual under the age of 19 to under 17.
All right, we heard the explanation, not seeing any questions. I got a motion for favorable report, Representative England, second by Representative Stringer. Now the bill is, all in favor of the bill as substituted, House Bill 33, indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, aye.
Thank
Ayes
you.
have it.
Thank you,
House
Mayor.
Bill 33 as substituted is passed. House Bill 68 has been requested to be carried over and brings us to House Bill 72, Representative Sellers.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, to the committee. House Bill 72 is under existing law, smoking tobacco products with a child in the car is a criminal offense. Also under the law, smoking marijuana of any kind is prohibited under any circumstances. This bill will provide an additional criminal penalty of a Class A misdemeanor for smoking marijuana in a motor vehicle when a child is present in the motor vehicle, whether the motor vehicle is in motion or at rest, and whether the windows are open or closed. This bill would also require the court to order a person who violates the bill to take an in-person education course developed by the Alabama Department of Public Health about the dangers of drug and marijuana use around children. This bill would also require law enforcement to report violations to the local county Department of Human Resources. This bill would also require mandatory reporters to report to the State Department of Health, Human Resources or another duly constituted authority when children smell of marijuana smoke, and will require such reports to be treated and investigated as any other reports of suspected child abuse or neglect. This will also require the Alabama Department of Public Health to develop public education material about the dangers of exposing children to marijuana smoke.
Okay, I believe you have an amendment?
I have an
Who's
amendment.
carrying the amendment?
I will.
No, you can't, you can't,
Oh.
you can't carry it. Give it to Pettus, or you want to carry it, Bolton, or Pettus can carry it? All right, so we have an amendment. Let's hear the amendment, what it does before we.
I met with Alabama Department of Health on yesterday, and so agreed to these changes. Replace line 41 on page 2 with the following: child is present to
Representative Pettus is going to handle the amendment.
Place line 41 on page 2 with the following: child is present to provide penalties, including a virtual. Replace line 45 on page 2 with the following: Department of Public Health, in collaboration with certain other state agencies, to develop public education. Replace line 84 on page 3 with the following: shall develop a virtual education class about the dangers. Replace line 89 on page 4 with the following: Alabama Department of Public Health, in collaboration with the Alabama Department of Mental Health and Alabama State Law Enforcement Agency, shall.
All right, you've heard the explanation of the amendment. Any questions on the amendment? Not seeing none,
Move adoption.
motion for adoption by Representative Jackson, second by Stringer. All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, okay. Now the bill's before us as amended. Any questions? I got a move for favor report, Representative Gray, second by Representative Jackson. All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Your bill has a favor report.
I had a question.
Oh, well, it's a little late.
I know I voted for it, but I just wanted to.
As amended, let me back up. All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
As amended. Opposed? All right, the ayes have it. Now your bill is passed as amended.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Jackson, you got to be a little quicker.
Yeah, my question,
Right next.
my question was, if a child not in the car, was there in the law?
A little late. That brings us up to, I think that brings us up to House Bill 102, Representative Underwood. I told him to make sure he gave you all those amendments before the meeting.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This is 102 brought back with the...
All right, hold up just a second. So we have a substitute before us, correct?
Yes, sir, that's correct.
All right, everybody has a copy of the substitute, so you're going to explain the substitute.
Yes, sir, that's correct.
Go ahead, thank you.
Thank you, sir. Great suggestions from last week. We incorporated those into page 2. Just point those out to you real quick. Line 60 describes it'll be a disabled veteran spouse. And then on down to line 65, there will be a new disabled veteran spouse plate issued for one motor vehicle owned by the surviving spouse, her lifetime or until remarriage. And then she has to return the disabled veteran plate when she receives that one, providing proof of marriage. And the issue fee is the same as $5. And for Representative Pettus's line 75, we also made it very plain that it does not construe that the permit says that you can park in handicap spaces unless you're otherwise designated. I did get, if you look on line 79 and 80, I did get with the Alabama Department of Revenue, and they needed some time to make sure that they could get that whatever's involved in the new plate, and so it won't be effective until October of 2027 because of that.
Move adoption.
Any questions? Got a motion for favorable report by Representative Jackson, second by Representative Stringer, all in the sub.
The sub.
Voting on the sub.
Adoption of the sub.
All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? All right, the bill is passed as substituted.
Appreciate the interaction.
Thank you, Teresa.
Yes, sir.
All right, that brings us to House Bill 110, Representative Tillman.
Mr. Chair and committee members, HB 10 will require ALEA to offer resident the option of having or obtaining a digital driver license or non-state driver license, state ID, in tandem with your physical driver license and or physical state ID. Also,
We have an amendment?
Yes.
All right, Representative Betzel will be handling the amendment. Explain the amendment.
Okay. Just a couple places here. I'll direct you first to line 28 on page 1, replaced with the following, ALEA, comma, contingent upon the availability of funds, shall issue a digital driver's license or non-driver. Just simply put, the funds have to be there for them to make this conversion or make this possible. The next is replace line 29 through 31 on page 2 with the following. Identification card for an additional fee of $15, which may be displayed through an ALEA-approved mobile electronic method. That's just to delineate that this would be an additional fee in and above the regular fee for a driver's license. Next, line 40 on page 2 with the following. A licensee may produce a valid ALEA-approved digital, just simply inserting the word valid to ensure that it is the license is valid. And the next and last piece of amendment, replace line 58 on page 3 with the following. Mobile method, the individual is not implicitly. It's just designates or change from a method rather than an application.
And I view it as a friendly amendment.
Okay, Representative Pettus has a question. After amendment.
Move
All right,
adoption.
So we got a motion to adopt the bill as amended by Representative Jackson, second by Representative Gray. All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? All right, the bill is now before us as amended. We have a question by Representative Pettus.
This is basically on their phone, is that correct?
Yes, that's correct.
So if they're stopped, the officer's going to take their phone to his car to check it, or?
No, he's not.
So how's the officer going to be?
Well, that's some of the things that we are actually working through as far as the funding is concerned. So we're looking at a system to where you can tap your phone or you can scan the phone. That's typically how it's done in other states who have this license.
Well, reason I ask, I know in the cars, the driver's license, they can scan and check it.
Mm-hmm.
But if they don't have that mobile, if they don't have the phone, how are they going to be able to check it?
Yes, and that's something that ALEA and I discussed, which is the reason why we're looking at the tap method or a scanning method that the officer can take to the car and scan it while the phone is in the person's hand.
Okay.
All right, Representative Wadsworth.
Yeah, on page 3 of the bill, it says ALEA may adopt rules to implement this section. Does it give ALEA the authority to raise the
well, I don't think necessarily giving them the authority to do it. We want to keep it at the price that it is with the $15.
Okay, is there anything that allows the fees to go up in the bill?
No.
Okay, thank you.
All right, we've got a motion for a favorable report, Representative Gray, second by Representative Jackson. All in favor indicate by saying aye as the bill is amended.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, the bill has a favorable report as amended.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, committee.
That brings us to House Bill 166, Representative
Did
Cal.
we do this one? Mr. Buck, did we do that one? Have we done that one?
Yes, sir, we did that one.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, committee. This bill we passed successfully out of this committee last year.
It requires that if a the law already requires everybody to have a driver's license operating a vehicle, but this allows an officer to tow a vehicle if the person who is driving it does not have a driver's license.
All right, we've got a question by Representative Jackson.
Where you gonna tow it?
I'm assuming a tow truck.
I mean, where to some garage somewhere?
It's the same process. If there's a DUI now, that process is already in place, and this bill implements that same process.
And the person will have to pay for the towing, right?
Yes.
All right.
Which is terrible.
Representative Bolton.
Towing or just allow authorized?
It allows. It's optional.
If there's a licensed driver in the car, then they can allow with the driver's permission to allow them to drive the car off.
That's correct. If you look at line 155, it gives the owner, if there's an owner, if the owner of the vehicle's in the car, a family member's in the car, if there's emergency or medical necessity jeopardizing life, if the operator is a healthcare provider, first responder going to a scene. Yep.
All right, seeing no more questions, I entertain a motion for favorable report. Representative Pettus, a second by Representative Jackson. All in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. All opposed? Ayes have it. Bill has a favorable report. That brings us to our last bill of the day. Representative Kill, House Bill 168.
Sure. So this bill we also passed last year that it deals with loitering, and there are exclusions to what is loitering, and this adds an exclusion that if you're wearing a medical or surgical grade mask during a protest, demonstration, or public assembly, etc., you are not loitering. And it also provides that if you're wearing the mask, that you must identify yourself to an officer.
All right, we passed this out of here last year. There's no changes to it. Entertain a motion by favorable report, Representative Pettis, second by Representative Stringer. All in favor indicate by saying aye. All opposed, the ayes have it. Bill has favorable report. I appreciate everybody being here.
Mr. Chairman.
Try not to rush through some of these things, but I'm losing a quorum here if we did. Yes.
Man, that's half of the lift for today.